Hi, we're Andy.
And Ruthy.
7 years ago, I was a waiter at a restaurant and we were close to $90,000 in debt.
Now, we run one of the top real estate teams in the country with over $100 million in annual sales.
Come journey with us as we share our epic adventures,
our business ups and downs,
and our mediocre parenting skills.
Winter golf time. So one of my very first clients was this guy named Arsenio Fernandez. He was a good guy. He did nothing wrong except hire me as his agent. I ended up showing him 40 homes. And when I say 40, I mean 40 plus. The kicker is one day he called me up, wanted to go see a home. I couldn't show him. This is probably after 60 hours of working with him. He goes out with some other agent. They write up the offer, I lose the deal. And that's when I learned the biggest value I can give a client is not showing them a lot of homes. It's being a strong agent. And that's when the light bulb went off. That's when I realized that what people really need in a good agent isn't the nicest guy who's the most available. They need someone who's gonna have tough conversations with and tell them things they don't always want to hear. But how do you do that in a way that actually keeps the client and gives a win-win? You see, it wasn't long before I started telling clients exactly what they needed to hear. If the house was out of their price range, I'd tell them I wouldn't show it to them. If the home was a perfect fit for their needs, but they just didn't see it yet, I'd say, no, seriously, you need to write this one up. The problem was, I started to get fired a lot. You see, Arsenio fired me because I was too nice. Well, then these last couple of clients, they fired me because I was telling them the truth, but boy, they didn't want to hear it. So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I either show them hundreds of homes, hoping they write up one, or I tell them exactly what they want to hear, hope they appreciate my candor and my directness and write it up. Or maybe there's a third way. There is a third way, and this is what most people don't want to hear, and it comes with scripts. Now, we are taught in real estate that, yeah, there's certain scripts you use when you're on the phone with someone, there's certain scripts you use when you want to have the seller reduce the listing price, but what about the scripts when you're working with a client and you come up against a couple scenarios that it's really in their best interest to write up a house and they just don't see it? That's what I'm going to share with you today. For real life, this is the most distracted golf I've ever played. I think I'm about to birdie a par 5. Let's go look. I'm about 30 feet short. This is like when you get that phone call from a guy who tells you he's an investor and then you meet him in person and his mom dropped him off at the showing. In one of my other crash course videos, I teach all about the DISC profile, how to communicate with different individuals the way they want to be communicated with. It's fabulous. I'm probably going to link it in the video below. But the reality of it is, there's 3 basic home blurbs that I believe if you treat them like scripts, you memorize them, you practice them ahead of time. Basically, these 3 objections that you're going to come across multiple times on why, when the house is the right fit for the client, but they don't see it yet, you can share with them this value prop to help them understand it without losing the client. Great scripts in real estate is just like your golf game. You don't learn it once, then you have it forever. If you take some time off, if it gets too cold in the winter and you don't want to play, your game gets rusty. You can't come out and be a scratch golfer just for taking a break off. In fact, you can't be distracted and be a scratch golfer. The reality of it is, your scripts need to be perfected and practiced consistently, just like your golf swing, like anything else. This first script I want to teach you is what I like to call frustrated couple. This is the script I want you to drop on him. All too often it's because he wants that shop and she wants that gourmet kitchen. Forgive me for the stereotype. I go up to him and I say, listen guys, you look a little frustrated. What's going on? And sometimes they admit they're a little ticked off at me because I'm not showing them the homes they want to see. And sometimes they kind of say, well, we're just not in agreement. They're going to take a time out, take a month off, and then get back to you. And I say, no ma'am, no sir. Home buying is a puzzle piece. There's 3 pieces. There's price, there's condition, there's location. When we did the buyer's consultation, you told me that you could not spend a penny more than $500,000. Okay, cool. You also told me you wanted to be in the Curtis School District. Great, I can help you there. You also said you wanted a 3-car garage, a gourmet kitchen, a water view, yada, yada, yada. I said that's gonna be a little bit of a stretch. Now that you've seen about 7, 8, 9, 10 homes now, you're getting to be as familiar with inventory as I am. Now tell me, which piece of the puzzle are you willing to compromise on? Is it gonna be price, condition, or location? Because the longer we wait, interest rates are going up and so is appreciation. That one house that was already hard to fit in the puzzle is even harder to fit now. I realize some of my scripts seem a little hard-hitting. These scripts are written in such a way that when the house is the right fit for the client, but they just don't see it yet. So this is the words you use to help them understand what's in their best interest. We're not trying to pull it over on someone. This isn't like a used car. The moment they walk off the lot, they're not stuck with it. This is a home. They get a rational thought and there is 10 days to walk away because of the inspection. So the reality of it is, sometimes you need to help your buyer understand what they want to do. Do you think when a doctor prescribes some radiation or chemo treatment for the client, it's what they want? No, but it's what they need. And as an agent and a good, man, I thought I was a lot closer to this pin too. But as a good agent, sometimes you just got to give it to them straight between the eyes. And listen, Right after you just punch your client in the jugular with that little truth bomb that they needed to hear, don't let them think about it for the weekend. This is what you say next. Go in the other room right now and take 2 minutes and you guys talk about it. The puzzle piece. Which piece of the compromise are you willing to do? If it's condition of the house, great, let's write this one up. It's the perfect fit for you. If you have to have this house but you're willing to be in a different school district, outstanding. We'll go back to the office and we'll start our search all over. Or the reality of it is, you want this house and you gotta be in the school district, and if you're willing to pay a little bit more for it, great, let's go write it up. Listen, these scripts, they work, but do you know the truth of the matter is, just about any script will work if you work it. You never know what the weather's gonna bring on a 2-hour errand trip. And you want to hear the hands down best buyer script of all time? It's really not even much of a script. You ever been showing a house to a client? It is the perfect house. They love it. They even know it's the perfect house. And they look over to you and instead of saying, hey, let's go write this one up, they say, okay, what other homes do you have for us to see? This happened to me way too many times. So then I found out a couple, 3 or 4 questions to ask them to help them see if this house was the right fit instead of going and looking at any other homes. Question number 1, where do you see your furniture going? You see, the longer you can get someone to live in the house, even by just standing there in it for a couple minutes, the more they like it. Second question is, how does this fit with the price point that you want to be at? You see, lazy agents will argue with them and say, house is under $250. You had a budget of $250, it's under $250, we should write it up. A strong agent knows this house is under their budget and says, hey, how do you feel about the price point? And the third question is, how do you feel about this as a daily commute to work? Will this work for you?
I want to go home.
You ready for a home blurb? This is what to say to a buyer when they have a fear of overpaying. Mr. Buyer, did you know that you're only ever gonna buy 3 houses? I can statistically prove you will only buy 3 houses. It's true. You're gonna buy your first, you're gonna buy your next, then you're gonna buy your last. I'm gonna make sure that we buy this first house at the right price in a condition you can afford, so when it comes time for you to enjoy that last house, we have enough equity to get us there. So tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to my office. I'm gonna do a market analysis. And if the numbers pencil, we're gonna write that up. How does that sound? How does it sound, Pippi? Excellent. Voila! Follow us on all these websites and also on Instagram.
Subscribe on YouTube.
We're real estate agents. We like helping people in these places.
The end.